Hey, this is Rick from Forward Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. Back in the day when I was still a young guy, and I had my own basement apartment, I invited my friend to stay with me for a couple of weeks. He was looking for a new place, and it was just me in the apartment. So I'm like, yeah, come on, I got a basement thing, come on over. So eventually, maybe 5-6 weeks, something like that, he found something that he liked. And so on his way out, he totally robbed me. Totally serious. He stole some of my shirts. He stole my electric razor. I think he stole my cologne, which wasn't a big deal. Actually, I can't smell, so that wasn't a big deal. But the guy robbed me, and I never heard from him again. After that happened, I began to ask myself, did I make a mistake? Am I a poor judge of character? Should I have known better? Why didn't I see this in him up front? I know that I'm not alone. You have had friends, family, coworkers, staff, name it, turn on you too. At one moment you were friends, everything was going fine, and then suddenly there was some kind of this revelation from this person that you trusted, from this person that you thought was a friend, and they revealed themselves as something other than a friend. Did you make a mistake? Are you just gullible? Or is there something to be learned here? I hope there might be something to be learned here. Before I go on and look at the text for this video, which is Mark chapter 14, 10-11, if you're watching this with someone, pause the video and share a story about a time when you had a friend, someone you trusted, and they somehow turned on you like my friend did when he robbed me. I think that that's a decent way of setting up the text that we're just about to look at for this video, Mark chapter 14, verses 10-11, because Jesus had such a friend. Jesus had a trusted friend named Judas Iscariot, who revealed himself as anything but a friend at the end of Jesus' days. So this small passage right here talks about that moment of betrayal which would take him to the cross. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went to the leading priests who arranged to betray Jesus to them. They were delighted when they heard why he had come, and they promised to give him money. So he began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. Hey kids, keep your eyes on the background, and you know the drill. There's going to be stuff hidden back there. And also, please remember to watch this week's episode of Connect HQ. I think that this text today tells us a valuable lesson about people that we call friends. Some friendships are not meant to last long term. Sometimes we're just friends for a season and something happens and we realize, wait a minute, we're not exactly compatible or even friends anymore. It's time for us to part ways. And I think it's more normal and more common than any of us really care to recognize. Jesus had 12 close people that he did life with. And of those 12 close people, one of them betrayed Jesus. It happened to Jesus himself, who's perfect God. It's going to happen to you and I too. So I've got 3 things to share with you today about how friends sometimes aren't meant to last long term. First of all, let's observe that friends come in all types. The text says one of the 12 disciples, one of just 12 people that Jesus was walking around with, betrayed him. To explain this verse, let's look a little more at Judas. Before Jesus went to the cross, one of his own followers, one of 12 followers, betrayed him. Judas had made arrangements with people who wanted to kill him. Whatever had become of the Old Covenant, of the Old Testament, resulted in the temple cult that we see in the New Testament. And we see a lot of talk about the Pharisees and the priests and the high priest of that day. They weren't what the Old Covenant was supposed to be, but that was the result of that, and it was completely failing. And so when Jesus came on the scene and confronted these people about what it meant to truly connect with God and help people truly connect with God, they didn't like it. They were losing their power. They were being confronted. They were made to look bad in front of the people, and so they eventually wanted to kill him. Okay, so the priests, though, wanted to kill Jesus covertly, secretly, on the DL, so that they wouldn't look bad in front of the people, because the people were there as their support, and the people were funding their lifestyle. It was a very corrupt system. So they wanted to covertly attack Jesus, not out in the open where people would object to their ideas. During the day, Jesus was surrounded by people who were following him. So it was safe for him to move around, but not safe for the priests to move against him. So during the night, that's when they wanted to catch him, when nobody else could see. And Judas is who helped the priests track him down. Now remember, this is a very, very old time, right? This is, good grief, before Facebook, before YouTube, no social media. There aren't even lights outside. When it's dark, it's dark. You can't see where people are sleeping. You can't see where people are going. Jesus didn't have a single address. He didn't have a home to go to. He didn't have a house to go to. So how are you going to track down a guy in the middle of the dark with no flashlights, with no road signs, with no social media? Like, you go to your soldiers, say, hey, soldiers, try to track down a guy in the middle of the night. What does this guy look like? Well, I can't show you what he looks like because I don't have any cameras, so I can't show you a picture. He doesn't have a profile, so I can't show you. Just go into the night and track some guy down, and that's not going to work. So Judas was their tracker. Judas betrayed Jesus because that's what the priests needed to catch Jesus when he was alone, where the crowds weren't able to balk against the priests moving against Jesus. So why is this important? Okay, well, here's the big deal. You're not the only one. It happened to Jesus too. We can sometimes second guess our instincts or think we may have this terrible flaw that we can't judge people correctly. We've got this low discernment, or everybody is out to hurt me, or we think we've made such a big mistake when we trust or befriend someone who just turns on us. Well, here's the thing. Jesus is absolutely perfect. Jesus didn't make a mistake when he called Judas to follow him into friendship. Jesus was giving him an opportunity to choose well. And this is the second observation that we need to make about friendships. Friends make their own choices. You can't choose for any of your friends, and your friends can't choose for you. Our friends make their own choices. The text says he began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. This is Judas's choice. It's not Jesus' choice. Jesus didn't make the choice for Judas to look for an opportunity. Like, that's just absurd. Why would he? Regarding Jesus, he was just giving Judas a chance, giving him an opportunity to make a good choice. But at the end of the day, Judas made his own choice, as do we all. And unfortunately, it was horrible. And it ended up with Jesus' death on the cross. So here's what we know about that. Jesus doesn't make choices for people. Jesus extends chances to people and even takes risks on people. But Jesus isn't responsible for how others choose. He's not responsible for how you choose. He's not responsible for how I choose. He's giving us the choice to choose him, but he's not making that choice for us. Now, all of that may be true of you too. You don't make choices for other people. If someone who used to be a friend has hurt you, that's not on you. It's on them. You probably take some risks with some people to become friends with them. Jesus does that, still does that too. You're not responsible for the choices that they make when they hurt you. You are not responsible for the choices that people make. If it ends up with you emotionally crushed, empty feeling, dejected, depressed, whatever, it's not on you, it's on them. The hurt that they caused you is on them. You didn't make that choice. Is there something wrong with your ability to make good friends? Well, let's get the obvious out of the way. You want some friends who accept you for you and celebrate who you are. You want some friends that challenge you to be better. You don't want friends who are clearly going to lead you into harm, into trouble, or doing something wrong. So that's the obvious stuff. Let's get that out of the way and make this really, really simple. If you thought you made a good choice and the person made a bad choice and hurt you, it's because they made a bad choice. It's not about you. You don't have to second guess your ability to choose good friends or employees right away. Just remember, they make their own choices. You don't choose for them. Let's summarize this just up to this point. Losing a friend because they've turned their back on you they've tried to hurt you, they've lied about you, they've stole from you, that's really, really hurtful. That's a painful experience, and sometimes it's very confusing, and sometimes we tend to self-blame, okay? On top of the hurt that we feel over losing a friend, the betrayal, you don't have to stack self-blame on top of that or second guess yourself. It happened to Jesus. It's a very normal part of life. It's not your character flaw. Everybody gets to choose on their own. So you can either tighten your boundaries up and do a better job with assessments and never let anyone in until they pass some really tough criteria, which, by the way, would probably leave you friendless and alone, or you can just keep on using common sense and you can let people be who they need to be and release them when they need to be released because they're not a good fit for you. It's not on you. You know, Jesus had 12 close friends. One of those close friends turned on him. Probably is going to happen to you as well. In your social circles, among your staff, among your close group of friends, among your lead team, whatever, it's probably going to happen to you too. Here's the good news. Okay, now there's great news here. Here's the good news. You gave someone a shot. They had an opportunity to make a good choice. They didn't, but you gave them an opportunity. You were an instrument in their life like Jesus was in the lives of the 12 people that he was connected most deeply with. God used you to be that person's friend for a short time. They made a bad decision, but that's not on you. You did your part to love your neighbor as yourself. So you can release that person who hurt you without blaming yourself, thanking God that he entrusted you with that friendship so that you two could care about each other for just a little while. That's good news. So let's wrap this up. Some friends aren't meant to last long term. Friends come in all types, and friends make their own choices. It hurts, but sometimes an end is necessary. When it comes to your friendship with Jesus, he accepts you for who you are, like you accept others into your friend circles as they are. He's not forcing himself on you. He's letting you choose for yourself to be his friend, like you do with others as well. However, unlike us, Jesus keeps calling us back, wanting us to make better choices to go deeper with him. That's it from me to you. For now, would you please like, share, or subscribe? That helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate you doing that for our community, creating community spaces so that you can connect with others and also with God. See you next time.